up front Rob Stecker and the entire crew for putting this thing together, and of course again our host from the Netherlands and hosting us here. I think it's going to be a great conference. You guys see the structure of the conference. I'll talk about that a little bit, but I want to talk about why we're here. Up front, I think in order for us to be effective, it's really based upon relationships. Sometimes personal relationships, and that's some of the purpose of why we're here. And that's part of what we're going to do here is get to know each other. So I'd ask you over the course of the next couple of days, we got plenty of breaks inside of the conference, and that's done purposely so we can actually today and over the course of the next few days.
I think, yeah, one of the most important things is
this was what the NCO was facing nearly every day. It was filmed with a handheld telephone by the forward air controller, who was responsible to call in fire support and close air support. Because it's for me, but also what do I see as a role of the NCO, knowing that this was the ground truth where the NCO needed to operate. Impact not just your own people, but just the fact that you're in a situation where the insurgents just inflict as much damage on the civilian society as they can. Came on the battlefield, it was done. Important. Close air support, important. Let's close air support within 8 minutes, 24/7. You know what my best asset was? An anthropologist. This discrepancy between taking risk on one side and control from a national capital on the other side. How do you deal with that? Far from easy. And the way to deal with it is mission command. Mission command is essential. I will talk about it later, but mission command for the NCO is essential to use the full capability of the NCO corps. It is mission command, nothing else. And last but not least, I would say every war, especially a counterinsurgency, is a fundamentally decentralized fight. It is a fight that is won or lost by the NCO, and which we are faced with in military. It's not just about planning, at the end of the day, it's about execution and success. Again, there the NCO comes in. So what is it on region command level that we have to conduct 24/7? The first one was Medivac. Medivac was not led by the task force, but was led by the region command in Kandahar. Why? To make maximum use of the capability that you have within your theater of operations. 24/7. And the great thing means that from 21 nations, people came over with the same blood type and gave blood to him. So he survived because of that. I still see him. I say, well, that's the most multinational guy we ever had because he has got 21 different types of blood in his veins. But it shows you really but nothing happened. But just try to imagine what it means. What NATO brought us. Standardized operations in which every nation is able to be supported by close air support from any other nation. And it worked 24/7. And how we integrate with our German colleagues. A couple of years ago, we were forced to abandon the tank capability we had, which was a big mistake. And we did our best to get the tank capability back. It's part of the 1st German Armored Division. Any questions? This is reality. This is reality. This is how it is. And I can tell you, we started 3 years ago and it works. It works perfectly. It works perfectly. So, and it took us a hell of a time to do so. That we were not the supported line of operation at security, but security was the supporting line of operation. It was about politics, it was about economics, it was about culture, it was about judicial systems. We were a supporting line, and this we can counter any threat by operating commonly with the same purpose and build a threshold in which once it doesn't go by intent, mission, things like that, and see what comes out of them in the future, to be able to solve these problems you need to generate every intellectual power you can find. And intellectual power is also diversity.
Commanders ask, hey, I need one.
Hey, what is my sergeant major? Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's also a question about the officer education. You know, they have portion of knowledge about who is NCO, his
The tenure of the university are our future officers. And now we senior enlisted, Army, Navy, Air Force guy, and this baby is like, this is Sergeant Major again. Oh my gosh, yes. You know, it's interesting, and for this guy, it's going to be very helpful when they be appointed as a junior officers on the bullets for this proposal. You're the boss, so bring him or send that.
Between the first. Also officers. Well, let's be honest. As a platoon sergeant, you already have a couple of years of experience. And when your lieutenant comes in just off the academy, he's well educated, but doesn't have the experience of the skills and drills. So you will monitor him as well. But also on a higher level. I work at Army staff. Coordination. Well, it says up here as well, eh? Because we are the ears and the eyes of the commander, and we're the voice of the soldier. You know firsthand what the commander wants to achieve with his unit. So, you have a bridge function, because I don't know how it is exactly in your army, but sometimes it's hard for the soldiers to tell a higher ranked person what really is going on. And here we still are the bridge between the soldiers and the commanding officers. Advising the commander. Up there a picture of Peer within the General Staff meeting, the commander of the Royal Netherlands Army, and he's sitting next to him. So he has full remembrance within that team, knows what's going on. Advising the commander, asked or even unasked. I told you about monitoring the skills and drill. If you see the quality is going down the level you want as a commander, to talk about it. Normally, it's a weekly agenda. Mostly the first thing in the week, I sit down with the commanding officer for, let's say, 30 minutes, and I can highlight the points that I've seen through the week. Or what? Yeah, that's this one. All right.
I think one of you need a solution. You can't stick to something if you don't have the solution. So the solution is
Some collaboration was critical.
Yeah. All right. What did your group come up with? What did you elaborate a lot on?
We come up with that tells them the right way, or even dares to step forward and say what right looks like. So, and you might be, or you have been occasions that I've been mentioned, and you say, oops, so I have to start again in another approach, because he was not listening what I was saying, because he was still listening with his mentality and excluding my ideas or my. It might be better is that I present the issues that happened. I know in my mind it was because of that thing I'm gonna present.
Or does it just come with the experience, or you sit down for a few minutes and to write
I try
down?
to do the research, or more disconnected, or more cold-blooded to it, without emotions, and then I see it in myself. How is it from my level? Because I do know other.
Just mention.
There goes some talks to
yeah, but it's I think you have a relationship.
So sometimes you should actually close your eyes in order to listen to what people are saying. So difficult. Difficult. Yeah? Nobody said it was easy. Let's get together. Learn. Where are we?
right on the top.
Yeah. Thank you. What's the most important thing for you?
Communication.
Communication.
Me too, communication.
Yeah.
Understand them.
Pardon?
Understand the commander.
understanding and communication. All right, thank you very much.
Communication.
Communication. So we can assume.
Charts.
Then we start like doing some communication.
All right, everybody, I'm going to start that list that we worked at, the WhatsApp list. We're going to start it again in the corner. I've input everybody's information, just verify it, that it's right, the digits are right, that kind of thing. So give it a good.
Give him another round of applause. Of course, this group of folks here. And that's sometimes hard to think about because typically when I think of a mentorship program, I think about, somebody that is very, very senior and experienced, typically mentoring someone that is much more junior and inexperienced. Would you all agree?
Yep.
So it's not, I don't know if it's necessarily right and or appropriate for this group, but we do have varying levels of experience in this group, and there may be folks in here that are interested in, doing some one-on-one connecting and mentorship with some of the other.
I will try to give you an overview of the fightings that happened here in 1944 in the city of Arnhem. So,
Be passive aggressive.
I don't know if it's going to get any. Som blir nu groundware, som blir skydda basområde, flygområde som är. Då blir det ju på, de här är ju oerhört.
This looks like a drop zone, a fine drop zone.
Careful with that. Careful with the dog stuff
here.
Map of Arnhem and the surroundings. The one with the many colors. And when you look at it, you see in the middle of the map, you see two big, large, wide areas. Everyone found them? Yes, there is a railroad track from east to west. And then we go to the south side of the railroad track, and there on the west side you see a number called, you see the edge of the wood, and that's the edge over here where the bus is now standing. So this the other side. It's the drop zone X-ray, like we call it now in the NATO language. And on the other side of this road, this is called the telephone road. On the other side, and even behind the trees you see, is on the other side of the railroad track. There was landing zone Shera for sonar gliders. Yeah, you got the picture? Now, when we look at the 1st Airborne Division, we met them in the story this afternoon. I will tell you every time how that is, right? So that were the 3 main brigades and the Air Landing Brigade, the 1st Air Landing Brigade. So the Air Landing Brigade, the Air Landing Battalion, something more like 700. Yeah. So the Air Landing Brigade had to secure, here was the brigade who had to capture bridges over the River Rhine, which is over there. You can look on your map.
Now, when you look at the German maps, this is the German map of the same area, and you can see there are much more colors, much more details, and also never.
Iedere pas. Nou, mee en dan denk ik, ja, wat moesten ze doen? Daarom is het.
You know where the village of Volkhuizen is? Square, the railroad line. This is Volkhuizen. This is the white square. We drove along the blocking position of Kraft. We know Kraft ambushed the first platoon of the Recce squad. Some squads, platoons, who tried to went from east to west to go for their tasks. The Red Road. They were the first to hit the south part of the blocking position of Kraft. Platoons who were defending over there in the blocking position were pushed back. Later on they tried to counterattack it, but the British hold the line. Resistance from German half-tracks with machine guns on it, yeah, and they stopped there, the 3rd Battalion. And the half-tracks were one of the German alert units from the SS armored divisions. The 2nd Battalion was not complete because the Charlie company was a part of task to go to Arnhem. Utrechtse straat, but people are talking about the upper road and the lower road. Now, the lower road is route line had to seize that area to get the enemy out of it, and one of the platoons had blew the bridge from the south side of the river. So it vanished, it fell in the water, no bridge left. So he was killed on the crossroads over near Volkhuizen, but the garrison was over here, and here was one building of the Gestapo. So the Charlie Company had the task to get the building of the Gestapo and the headquarters of the garrison. Reached the upside from the wall, so it was not easy
to go over the walls to the next garden. You can imagine that?
Video.
Oh, video. Okay.
Keep laughing.
Okay. You recognize the building? Sort of hand grenades.
I'm not here.
How about you?
Boop.
And here you can see the church after the fighting. Yeah. The soldiers came down from the area lower road to upper road. Rest, take your sleep, and then you will be appointed a position in our defense over. Direct support of the tanks, and then the first tank was lost, and the other tank said, okay, oh, we have real resistance now, real anti-tank. That direction is the city of Nijmegen, about 30 clicks to the south.